Are you looking to get your business phone ringing, or maybe your client's business phone ringing? And you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step tutorial on how to create a Google Ads call-only campaign that will generate you high-quality, sustainable leads month after month for your business. Now, we do offer services in case you don't want to create all of this stuff, and we can manage it for you. However, this video will show you the step-by-step process to create a call-only ads campaign from start to finish. Now, I do want to show you what a Google call-only ad looks like. It looks like this, and really the value here is a call only ad only does one thing, which allows the user to call you. They're only displayed on mobile devices, so it's really nice. You're only going to be getting high quality phone call leads from this type of campaign. If you want email leads, chatbot leads, etc., this is not the campaign for you. But if you want high quality phone call leads for your service-based business, this is absolutely an amazing campaign and an ad type for you, because you are going to be driving calls to your business, which is nice. Call ads are often confused with call extensions, which look like this. These two things are completely different. Call extensions are an extension of a search ad, which only appears sometimes. A call ad is a standalone ad which appears by itself and allows the user to actually click on it. So now that that's out of the way, how do we go about creating our actual campaign? Now, to start off, in order to set up a Google Ads call only campaign, we're going to need a Google Ads account. Now, in order to get a Google Ads account, you have to type in Google Ads to the search bar, scroll down here to Google Ads, and then click on the very first link we see. Now, all we have to do is hit start now, and then we're going to hit new Google Ads account. If you don't have a Google Ads account already associated with your actual Gmail account, nothing's going to pop up here. It'll just send you directly into creating your account. So for this account, since we have a whole bunch of Google Ads account, I'm just going to hit new Google Ads account. And what Google is going to try and do is get you into a smart campaign right away, because most people who don't know Google Ads are probably better off actually with a smart campaign. But for this tutorial, I want to switch you to expert mode so you can actually go and build out a call only campaign. That way you have more control over your actual account. With a smart campaign, you have very limited control over your actual campaign, and you're not really able to determine what keywords you want to go after, what advertising you want to show. It's very, very limited. So I highly suggest, if you're going to build out any type of Google Ads campaign, switch it to expert mode. And all we have to do is hit switch to expert mode right there. And Google will send us immediately into building a new campaign. What we're going to do is create an account without a campaign so we can all get to the very same step right away. So I'm going to hit create an account without a campaign. Very easy to do. Google's going to ask you to enter in the debit or credit card you're going to be paying with right here. I already set mine up. So as you can see, it just asks for the actual billing country, time zone, and currency. Do we want personalized campaign guidance from a Google Ads expert? No, we're okay. And do we want tips? No. Make sure all of your time zone and billing is set up correctly. Same with your currency. If you set this up improperly, you're not going to be able to change this later on. So it's very important to set this up correctly right now. Make sure just to double check it. And then all we're going to have to do now is hit submit. And we have successfully created our account. Now all we have to do now is hit explore your new account, and our new account will pop up. Now, if you already have a campaign, you should have campaigns over here on the left-hand side. But if you're brand new to Google Ads and you don't have a campaign, all you have to do is hit new campaign. And we're going to start off with our brand new call only ads campaign. And what we have to do for this is just hit leads for our objective, because we want as many leads as possible. We don't want sales. We don't want website traffic. This is going to be for service-based businesses so we can get our phone ringing. So we're going to hit leads. You can also hit create a campaign without a goals guidance. That's just going to make it more complicated. I don't suggest doing that right off the bat if you're new to this. But what we're doing right now is just hitting leads, and we're good to go. What we have to do now is select a campaign type. We're going to hit search campaign. And then what we want is phone calls. Now, what we will have to do here is actually enter in the phone number associated with our account. And this is where we want all of our phone call leads to go to. So if you have a business phone, this is where you enter your business phone. For this campaign, I'm going to be using Elite Pool Builders phone number. I'm going to be sending traffic to them for this campaign. And then I am going to enter in the phone number associated with their account. Make sure, by the way, this is actually the correct country. If it's not, Google's not going to verify your phone number, because it's going to realize, hey, this phone number doesn't actually belong to this country. So it's literally not going to show your ads. So please make sure you have the correct country selected. The next thing we have to do is actually name our campaign. I'm going to name this Pool Installation. And really, you can name your campaign whatever you want. What I would recommend doing is coming up with your most profitable services. What a lot of people do is they just blanket target everything. So every single service they offer, they just target it inside Google Ads. This is not what we want to do. What we want to do is be very precise with the services we offer inside Google Ads. I generally recommend going after the most profitable services you have inside Google Ads. This allows you to have a lot more room for error. If you go after services with very little profit margin and maybe they're just very expensive for you to actually service these customers, chances are you're going to lose money on these services because you still have to factor in the actual advertising costs and every single click on what it costs. And if you have very little profit margin, I wouldn't recommend generally targeting those services inside Google Ads. So I would stick to your most profitable services inside Google Ads. A lot of people get this wrong. I would pick maybe 1 to 3 services that you really know are really profitable for you and don't really use that much time for your business. And you're able to service them very quickly, very profitably, and you're happy to do those services all day long. I would go for those golden services and make sure those are the services we're targeting. If we don't do that, our strategy is going to be completely wrong. We're not going to go after the services that are most important to our business and we're going to lose money. So please target these services that are actually going to make you money. Don't target just very small profit margins services. Like if we were in pool installation, installing a pool, you can generally make a lot of money on. However, selling pool supplies, you're not going to make as much money as actually installing the pool. Same goes for fencing. It's much more profitable to install an actual fence than it is to actually repair a fence. So I would highly recommend advertising services where you're making the most amount of money off of. It gives you way more room for error when it comes to wasted ad spend, and you're going to have a lot more success inside Google Ads if you choose to go after these bigger services with more profit than these tiny services that aren't as profitable. So please keep that in mind when setting up a actual campaign. Then again, you can name your campaign whatever you want. It really doesn't affect performance. For this, we're going to just go after actual pool installation services, but I would name the campaign whatever main service you're going to be going after. So for this one, this is a pool company. We're going to be going after pool installation. We're going to be going after fiberglass vinyl pools, in-ground pools, pool installation. These are essentially all the same product. They do have slight variations. However, these are our breadwinners. These are our golden services that we want to be going after. So I'm going to name the campaign the overall service we offer, which is pool installation. Feel free to change the name to whatever you want. Now we're going to hit continue. And the next thing that pops up is bidding. And this is very important. What we need to do here is come over here to tools and settings. I'm going to open up the keyword planner here, and very easy to actually do this. All we have to do is come over here to discover new keywords. And what we're going to do is geo-modify this. So as you can see here, it says Canada. We're going to geo-modify this to the actual locations we want to target. So we'll do Hamilton. And here in Canada, we'll do Toronto. And we will do Mississauga. Now, all we have to do is hit save. Please make sure to actually geo-modify it. All you have to do is click on the little icon right here to do so. If you don't geo-modify it, your actual results are going to be inaccurate. You're not going to get the right cost per click, and you're going to have a lot more difficulty actually going after and finding what your actual maximum cost per click should be inside your keyword planner. So now all we have to do is type in a couple keywords we want to go after. So for this one, let's do pool installation. That's pretty standard. I would go after high buying intent keywords right away. And what I mean by high buying intent, say you have a service like HVAC. You want to go after HVAC installation, HVAC repairs, pool installation, fencing installation. Keywords that show buying intent, keywords that show the individual is actually looking for your service. You don't want to go after a keyword that's very vague, such as a generic keyword like pools, which doesn't really mean much. It could be, people looking for images of pools, people looking to build their own pool. That's not something we actually want to go after. We want keyword modifiers that show high buying intent. So installation, companies near me, repair, services near me, stuff like this that really shows high buying intent. So for pools, it's normally pool installation. Let's do fiberglass pool installation, and we'll do in-ground pool installation. And these should give us a very good idea of the overall cost per click when it comes to our bidding strategy. And what we want to do here is actually find the highest number that is reasonably in our keyword planner. So as we can see, there's one keyword down here at $29, but the vast majority are anywhere from $12 to $15. What I like to do is take the top number here and either add it up with the actual lower number and then divide by 2. So that would get us right around $10. If you want to be more extreme, you could just set $15 as the actual limit. I like doing this for newer campaigns because I want to get as much data in as possible. Then I can switch it down later. So for most people, I would recommend just setting this as the actual target CPA, $15, $15.37. So we'll just copy $15.40 here. You can always turn this down later. What I find a lot of people do is they take these two numbers, averages out, so it'll be like $10, and then they don't get any results, and they're like, well, why isn't Google Ads running for me? And that's because you actually have to turn the maximum cost per click up. I like doing that just because it's more of a fail-safe. However, I find a lot of people mess that up. I would just go with the top of page bid here and set that as our maximum cost per click bid limit. It doesn't mean you're actually going to be paying this amount of money. However, it just caps our total bid off at $15. We're not going to be paying any more than $15.40. I'd also add, I'll put a decimal point here, so 15.44. It isn't an auction house, so adding these two decimal points actually does make a difference, because if someone is bidding $15.40 and we have $15.44, we will outbid them in the auction house, and chances are we're going to show our ad above them. So it's important to do so. What I would recommend for bidding is starting it off in maximize clicks, as you can see here, and then after 30 conversions, switching it over to maximize conversions or target CPA. This will allow Google's AI to optimize. But in order for you to actually use an automating bidding strategy like that, it is highly recommended you have a decent amount of data. The best way, in my opinion, to get that data is to start off with maximize clicks, get at least 30 conversions, and then switch over. So that's why we're starting off with maximize clicks. All we have to do now is hit next. And now we're into our campaign settings. As you can see here, we have the search network. This would allow us to show on all of Google's search partners. I don't generally like starting a campaign off with search partners because Google doesn't monitor as much. And chances are you're going to experience higher click fraud on these search partners networks just because Google doesn't verify this data as much as they do their own organic platform. Meaning you're not going to be showing up on other search engines beside Google, which is kind of nice. If you do have a search volume problem later on, you can always come back and check this off. And even later on, even if you don't have a search volume problem, you can A/B test with the actual search partners network to see whether or not this traffic is going to be worth going after. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. In our experience, we generally just turn this off and then later on come back to it. Now, what we do is scroll down and we're going to enter the locations we want to be targeting. So for this, you can enter in locations a variety of ways. For this one, I'm going to be targeting, let's do Hamilton, Ontario. So we're going to target, we're going to do Toronto, Ontario, and we're going to be targeting Mississauga. Now, once you've added all of the targeted locations you actually want to target, you can actually come in here and enter in locations you don't want to target. This has been recently changed, so you can't access it as easily. You can just type in whatever city and then hit exclude. This helps with reducing wasted ad spend. I'll show you in a bit later how to actually go in and adjust this. It's much easier in the other settings. I think Google does this. They just recently switched it, so it's not as easy to adjust excluded cities, but I would add in as many excluded cities as you want, just so you don't get calls from there. You shouldn't get calls anyway, but I find that excluding cities that aren't being targeted reduces wasted ad spend just a little bit. I would take the time to go in there and actually add excluded cities. It's worthwhile. Now, all we have to do is scroll down here to location options. What we're going to do is hit presence. We only want to target people that are actually in the city, not people searching for a city. So we don't want to target people, in New York City that are searching for pool installation in Toronto. That's not who we want to target. Could you use that for car rentals or hotels? Absolutely. But we're doing service-based businesses. We only want people in this actual location. So we're going to click on presence. The next thing is exclusion. I see a lot of people don't change this. I want to exclude presence or interest. This just gets rid of everyone who's actually in or interested in our excluded locations. Google does a little tiny trick here. So people could be in, let's say, Hamilton, and they could search for pool installation New York City. And since you don't have interest selected, if you had it only as presence, Google would still show your ad. It's a weird trick Google does. I don't really like it, but please select presence or interest. That way you're not going to be showing your ad for people who are searching for areas outside of your targeted areas. The next thing is language. I would recommend divvying up languages in actual separate campaigns. It just makes everything much easier to manage. And chances are, if you have multiple languages, one is going to be performing better than another. And if one is performing better than another, you want this segmented. If they're all together, you're not going to be able to adjust them as well. So I would recommend adding languages at a campaign level. So if you want to build out a campaign that is an entirely different language, go ahead, build that out. But please just make sure you're only putting one language in at a time. Google will optimize this if you put multiple languages. I just think it's a real pain in the butt, and it's going to be really difficult to optimize if you're trying to optimize for actual specific languages. So if you want to add a different language, all you have to do is type in here and you can check one off. I'm just going to stick with English because I only know English, and we're going to go with that. The next thing is audience segments. And what we're going to do here is add a whole bunch of audience segments. We're going to leave this in observation mode as we only want to collect data right now. We don't want to actually target these audience segments because we don't have enough data on this. So what we're going to do is we'll do pools, and then we're going to just check off a whole bunch of stuff related to the pool market. So we'll do garden sheds, outdoors, furniture sets, landscape designs, literally anything slightly relevant to this, check it off. You're not going to be targeting, you're not going to be wasting any ad spend on this. Google is just collecting data for these actual audiences, and it would collect it anyways. So might as well check it off and get that actual data into your account just so you can see it. We'll do home and garden, swimming enthusiast, demographics. You could go in here and do actual browse, check out any of the actual other segments you want to. For this one, I'm just going to leave it as this. You can go in and add as many as you want. I would recommend anything that is relevant to your actual industry, add it, and then go from there. You should be good. Now, once we have that all set up, we're going to continue to scroll down and hit more settings. Now, there are a few other settings I would put. Ad rotation, I would leave this as optimized. Prior to Google's AI becoming really good, it really wasn't good, and it would waste a whole bunch of money. It would just find an ad it liked, even if it wasn't performing well, and it would waste a whole bunch of money. And normally, if you have an ad issue, I would leave this in do not optimize. So Google just tests every single ad continuously, rotates them manually. It doesn't actually optimize for your best performing ad. Google's AI has gotten a lot better, and I would highly recommend using optimize. It makes your life a whole bunch easier, and I'm going to leave it as that for this campaign. We're going to continue down. If you want to add a start and end date, so this campaign turns off after a scheduled date, you absolutely can. All you have to do is hit select date, and we'll put the 14th, and then you're good to go. I'm just going to leave this as none because I know how to get back into this account. And we're going to continue again hitting more settings. And now we're going to hit add schedule. This is super important, and I only recommend having an ad schedule for days you can actually return calls quickly. And this is because the quicker you can return the call, the higher the closing rate is for your actual sales team or the owner of the business. And this is because people, if you make them wait too long, they will find someone else to handle their issue. So please make sure only run these ads when you can effectively get back as quickly as possible. So I normally recommend running Mondays to Fridays. They seem to do better than the actual weekend. We generally go with the weekdays because people have more time on the weekends to actually go and look around, and they're not as much of a rush as they would be on a Monday to Friday. And we just generally see better results on Mondays to Fridays than we do on Saturdays and Sundays. This isn't to say you can't have amazing results on the weekend. It's just something we find when it comes to a lot of service-based business. We normally recommend running Mondays to Fridays. Now I'm going to set this for, let's do 8 o'clock till, let's do 5 o'clock. And then if you want to add Saturday and Sunday, you could just hit add. You can also change that to, Saturdays to Sundays. It's completely up to you on whatever you want to do. I generally recommend, again, Mondays to Fridays, your normal working hours. They seem to do the best. Your closing rate will be a lot higher if you're not making people wait. So that's my recommendation. We're going to continue down here to more settings. We don't have to worry about campaign URLs because we're not going to be tracking anything. And dynamic search ads, we're also not going to use because we don't have a massive website that we're going to be drawing data from. We're just going to be setting up these ads manually. So the next thing is we're just going to hit next. And what we're going to do is actually find keywords. But first off, we're going to name our ad group. And all we have to do here is actually hit this little pencil icon here. We're going to name this, let's do in-ground pool installation. And now we've successfully named it to in-ground pool installation. Now, what you can do is type in, let's say pools here, pool installation, and then get keyword suggestions. I don't really like doing this because it will just draw a whole bunch of keywords that some are relevant, some are not relevant. And most of the time you just have to go through here and just remove keywords that don't actually have that high of a buying intent. So I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to show you this, how it actually works, and then we can come back to it. And I'll show you how to find keywords in the keyword planner later on. For this one, let's see if there's any in-ground stuff. In-ground pool cost, that's fine. In-ground pool companies near me. And I really like keeping the ad copy and keywords very relevant. So I would put in-ground pool installation in one ad group, in-ground pool installation companies. You could probably put it in the same ad group depending on how picky you want to get. Now I went ahead and just found a whole bunch of the actual in-ground pool installation keywords and just sorted them out. Most of these could go into the same ad group. I would segment this out into one ad group. So in-ground pool installation, in-ground pool installation services, in-ground pool installation near me, that could all go into the same ad group. For in-ground pool companies, you might want to add a new ad group depending on how high your quality score is, depending on your landing page. There's a lot of factors, but really we want to segment this out by in-ground pools into each one of their own ad groups. And this will allow us to actually make ad copy that is very relevant to these actual keywords. So really what our goal is with these keywords and our ad copy, which is going to be coming up, is to make them as similar as possible. And what this means is when someone types in ground pool installation, our ad comes up and it says in-ground pool installation. Are you looking for a quote? Get a free quote now. So it's very relevant to your actual customer. If you don't make ad copy that is relevant to your customer and you just put pools or pool installation company, this is going to be very vague. And the person looking for the actual pool installation service is probably going to pick on the ad that has the closest familiarity with what keyword they typed in. So if they typed in in-ground pool installation, they're going to pick the ad that says in-ground pool installation 9 out of 10 times. So it's very important to have very relevant ads and very themed ad groups. We don't want to be typing in fiberglass pool, in-ground pool, and vinyl pool all in one ad group with all different keywords. Your ads are going to be too vague and they're not going to resonate with your customers. So please make sure these keywords are themed. It's very important. One more thing I do recommend doing is copying all these keywords, and we're going to paste this into AdWords Wrapper. It's completely free. All you have to do is go to adwordswrapper.com. We're going to paste these in here, and we're going to copy these into Exact Match. And the reason for that is we want our ads to appear only for these keywords. If you're brand new to Google Ads, I would recommend starting off with Exact Match, maybe even Phrase Match, but Broad Match for the vast majority of companies is very, very lenient, and you can target almost anything out there. It's going to target your competitor brand names. It's going to target like pool supplies. It's going to target just about anything you could ever imagine when it comes to pool installation. So broad match is really too vague. I really think phrase match as of late has really gotten too lenient on what it will target. You really have to watch phrase match. And this is because about 6 months ago, Google updated its match type system, and we don't use as much phrase match as we once did. We still use phrase match as an exploratory keyword to actually go in and find new keywords. But if you actually know keywords that are going to convert, you don't really need phrase match as much. That being said, if you are, somewhat experienced with Google Ads, go ahead, add phrase match into this. But if you're brand new, I would say start off with Exact Match. That way you're not burning a whole bunch of money right at the beginning, and then you can up it later. And if you want to convert it all to phrase match, you absolutely can. But I would start off with Exact Match. It's a nice fail-safe to have. Once we've entered in all our keywords, and again, you could have anywhere 3 to 10 keywords, even more, provided they're all relevant to the ad we're going to be writing. We're going to scroll down here to ads and actually make our ad. And the nice thing about call only ads is they're really short. And we're going to start off with our actual phone number. This, just double check, make sure it's the actual correct phone number. We can enter in our final URL here, which is the URL that will display above our call only ad, and the verification URL, which indicates to Google that the number is on our website and it is verified. So this is a real business. The final URL is optional. You don't need it, but the verification URL is necessary in order to run these Google ads successfully. You can choose not to add a final URL if you don't want to, but what I would recommend is follow the data and see what works best for you. So we're going to copy and paste Elite Pool's URL in here. Please make sure this phone number is on here. If not, Google will actually limit the actual ad if your phone number is not on there. So please make sure this phone number is on your website somewhere. Just make sure it's on there or else it won't run. The display path is the nice little display right after this actual URL. So since we're doing in-ground pools, I'm going to put in in-ground pool. Can we put installation there? No, a little too long. So we'll put in-ground pool installers. That's pretty close. I always add in the actual main keywords here, and that's just to make it look a little bit more unique, a little bit more relevant to our customer, which is good because the more relevant we can make our ad, the more likely they are to click on it. And the higher the click-through rate we can get, the lower the cost per click, because our quality score goes up. The lower the cost per click means more clicks, means more leads, means more account success. So it's very important to do this and take its time. What I'm going to do is use one of our tools called the Google Ads Done For You bundle. It's a whole bunch of headlines, descriptions, extensions, anything you need, and also the negatives as well. You can just copy and paste this. We sell this inside of our account. The link should be down below for this, but it just comes with a whole bunch of plug and play headlines and descriptions. One thing I do want to mention about headlines and descriptions is headlines really need to attract what your customer is looking for. So if they're looking for pool installation, you should really have your headline saying pool installation, looking for pool installation, something so their eye looks directly at it For descriptions, really the goal of them is to give them more reasons to buy and explain what happens next. So for example, if they are looking for pool installation, you can give them reasons to buy, like extended warranty, certified installers, licensed and insured. Give them reasons to buy, hundreds of reviews, stuff like that, and then end it off with a call to action, like get a free assessment, get a quote now, schedule your free assessment, whatever it is. Give them a reason to buy at the end of that. But that's really the difference between headlines and descriptions. Headlines need to catch the eye of the prospect for what they're looking for, and then the description has to sell them and tell them why they should go with us, why they should click this link, and what they expect to get out of this link. Headlines and descriptions aren't too complicated to come up for. So if we want to do looking for in-ground pool installation, that's a little too long. So I'm just going to actually put the main keyword here. For the descriptions, we'll actually use the done for you bundle. That'll be way easier. In-ground pool installation. What we really want to do is include the actual main keyword in our first headline. And this is because the closer we can relate our ad, landing page, and actual message in the actual description, the higher the quality score is going to be. This is going to allow us to get actual lower cost per click. So we really want to include the actual keyword here. So I'm going to just leave it as in-ground pool installation. I like changing these headlines up, looking for pool installation. This asks a question to the actual customer, which is really unique, and not a lot of people actually ask questions. So your ad's going to stand out, and the more we can make our ad stand out, the more likely it is to be clicked on. So that's something we want to do. For business name, we're just going to enter in Elite Pools, not Elite Business, Elite Pools. And then the description, I'm going to just copy and paste this. Let's do a simple personalized in-ground pool installation. Simple in-ground pool installation, custom tailored to match your needs. That's cool. We could also put get a quote now. We really want to add in a call to action, and if you're struggling to figure out a second headline, just add a call to action. So it could be get a quote now or schedule a free assessment. I really like adding multiple ads, and normally in the second headline I would put a call to action, but as you can see here it says call, so the call to action isn't as important, but I would still put there at least in one or two of our ads in this actual ad group, because we're going to have 3 ads in this ad group. I would go ahead and add a few calls to action. And that's because we want to let our customer know what happens as soon as they call us, what happens when they actually click on this ad. They're going to get a quote, they're going to get assessment, they're going to get something that they want, as opposed to a lot of ads that just say pool company and there's no follow-up, there's no understanding of what's going to happen next. And we want to allow the customer to know what's going to happen next and makes them feel more comfortable and what they're actually going to get when they call us. The next description, let's just copy and paste this. We'll do easy and professional pool installation. Make sure to again include your keyword. Pool installation, and that's because we really want to make sure we'll get rid of hassle free. Make your life easy, call now. And that's because we really want to up our quality score, and the higher quality score we get, the better Google Ads is going to be for us. For this, we're just going to leave this as use account settings for now. We don't need to change that. Now all we have to do is hit next, and we can set our daily budget. And as you can see, it says our average daily budget is $211, and we're going to get 4 weekly clicks, which is not really good and not where we want to be. What I would normally recommend is whatever your maximum cost per click was that you set. So ours was $15, times that by 5, and that should give you at least 1 conversion a day if we're going to get 20%. You may even want to up that to 7 or 8 times just to give you a little bit more wiggle room. And 15 times 5 is 75. So we'll put 75, we'll put $25. Again, this is saying this is the expected clicks for only this ad group. Google doesn't understand that we're going to be adding a whole bunch of other ad groups. So if it says like, hey, your ads aren't going to show because you don't have a high enough budget, it's like, yeah, we know. We'll go in, add a whole bunch of more ad groups, and then Google's going to have more options to actually pick stuff. So that's important to note. We're not actually just going to leave it like this. We are actually going to make a couple more ad groups. So all we're going to have to do is hit next and then scroll through here. It wants us to add more keywords. We're going to do that in a second. But all we have to do now is hit publish campaign. And we have successfully created our very first call only campaign, but we are going to go in and we're going to add a little bit more to this so we can have better results. Now, I would recommend if you're brand new to Google Ads, actually just going ahead and pausing this. It will save you money and you won't forget to leave this on. But once everything's set and we're good to go, we can turn this back on later on. It's just a nice fail safe. Some people forget to do that, but It is up to you. What we're going to do now is actually go in and double out our ads. This is pretty easy. All we have to do is click on our campaign here, pool installation, and then we're going to click on ads, and then we're going to double this out. So what I mean by double this out is literally just copy and paste this ad. So I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to hit paste. We're going to paste this in the actual in-ground right here. We're going to hit this. Yep, good. Hit paste. And it just says if ad already exists, still create the duplicate, which is just what we want. Just check those two off, and then it will create a duplicate. Depending on how many ads you copy out, by the way, this process will take anywhere from like 10 seconds to a couple minutes. So if you need to refresh your page, go ahead. It should load the ad in as soon as you refresh. As you can see here, this doubled out, and we're going to copy this one more time because we want 3 ads in every single ad group. And then we're just going to hit done, hit pause. Yep. And then this is going to double it out again, so we have 3 ads in total. And the reason we want 3 ads in total is because we want to give Google as many ads to A/B test as possible. The more ads we can give it, the more likely it is to find a winning combo, the more likely it is to have a much higher click-through rate, a higher quality score, and much more account success. We're going to be getting a lot more leads if we have 3 ads as opposed to just 1. So please go in and actually add in 3 ads. All we have to do now is hit edit, and we're going to go in here. Let's do get a free quote now. In-ground pool. Let's do installers. Can we put local in-ground pool installers? That'd be cool. Local in-ground pool installers, perfect. Again, here we can come in here. I would change this up. We'll grab another headline here. Let's do top rated. Actually, the most reliable. What is good? What is a wood? There we go. That looks good. We'll do this. We'll replace that. In-ground certified installers, award-winning in-ground pool installation. Again, keywords are important. Award-winning, certified. Let's just get rid of installers here. Certified, and we'll get rid of certified. That's fine. And then I would probably leave that. And then the third ad, we can change that up as well. We're just going to hit save. We're going to turn that ad on by just simply clicking on this button here and hitting the actual green button so we can turn it on to make sure it's active. And then the last ad, we're going to come in here. We'll switch a little bit around here. We'll leave. What's another ad that we could look in here for? Trusted and certified. There we go. We'll put trusted and certified. Trusted and certified. And again, this is going to be completely unique to your industry. It may say, trusted and certified, but I would generally take the time to find out some decent headlines and actually make people want to click on this, as opposed to what a lot of people do. They just put very vague statements and then they're not going to be useful at all. So that's what I would do. Let's do qualified professionals never hire a stranger. Again, qualified in-ground pool installation. We'll put never hire stranger again. Get a quote now. That's a little long. Get a quote. There we go. All right. Well, that's fine. And then all we have to do is hit save now, and we are good to go and turn this ad back on. Now, there is something very important to do, and that is to actually build out your extensions. And a lot of people overlook this. What we have to do is come over here to assets, and we're going to add a couple extensions. And this is going to make our ad a little bit bigger than our competition. And the reason we want to add as many extensions as possible is to make our ad as big as possible. The more likely someone is to see our ad, the more likely they are to click on it, the higher our click-through rate is. So it's worth adding these extensions. Now, please make sure your actual campaign is selected. If it is not, you're going to actually add this at the ad group level, and that's going to be a bit of a pain. So I would recommend adding it at the campaign level instead of having to add it into every single ad group, which just takes a long time. So what we're going to do is come over here to the big blue plus icon. We're going to add in our callout extensions. So we're going to put vinyl pool installation. We'll copy that. We'll put fiberglass pool installation. Fiberglass pool. Let's just put fiberglass pools. We'll put vinyl pools. And this is really just to show what we have to offer, why they should go with us. You could put all the different types of pools. You could put in-ground pools, semi, above ground pools. That's cool. You could also put in 2-year warranty, award-winning, certified, insured, reasons people want to buy your services. You could also list out the types of pools. There's a lot of stuff you can do with call-out extensions. I normally like to highlight this into actual services on why people should buy. For pool installation, a lot of people are actually looking at the types of pools and also what you have to offer. So again, warranty, award-winning, certified, hundreds of reviews, whatever it is, give them a reason to buy. Most things, if you just listed out your product, pools are a little different, but if most companies just listed out what they have to offer, that's not going to work as well. Pools are a little bit different, but go ahead, give them reasons to buy, and then add in your call-out extensions. I would normally add at least 10 of these. Google can actually show up to, I believe it's 8 or 10. So add in at least 10. That way Google can A/B test all of these, and you should be good to go. The next thing is the actual structured snippet extension. There's 4 extensions that can show with your call ads. The first one is your website extension, which we already did. Structured snippet, call out, and location. So it's important to add these actual extensions. If you don't, you're going to be into a bit of a problem. Let's do styles. We'll do fiberglass. I probably shouldn't be repeating this. Fiberglass, vinyl, in-ground, and we'll do semi above ground. Please don't do what I do. Actually put this incorrectly. These styles are completely fine. If you were in an HVAC company, you could list out all the different types of products you have to offer or brands. That's another one in here. You could also do, if you have different types of fencing, so steel fencing, all the different types. Same with roofing. If you have like a flat roof, commercial, residential, whatever it is, you could list these into this actual structured snippet extension. And this is just going to be a list, by the way. I kind of want to go back and change some of those call-out extensions. So I went back into the call-out extensions and changed them because I thought you should get a better example than just the actual list of pools. So we have award-winning pools, certified installers, 2-year warranty, quick and reliable. Add at least 10 of them. For structured snippet extensions, I would add at least 2 separate snippet extensions, and Google can A/B test them. That's nice to do. Our final extension is going to be our location extension, and this is, you can add locations in a whole bunch of different ways. You could select locations, find a business manager profile, link to a business manager account. It's up to you, but make sure you actually add the location extension and you're good to go. Now we have set up all of the actual extensions related to our campaign, and all we have to do now is add a couple more ad groups and we are essentially good to go. I'm not going to bore you to death, but what we have to do is actually come in here to our ad groups and we're going to copy this out. It just makes everything a lot easier. We don't have to, make brand new ads. We just have to go in and switch a couple words, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to show you this once and we're just going to copy and paste this in here. Perfect. Pause new ad groups after pasting. Yep. And what this is going to allow us to do is easily create ad groups very quickly, as opposed to actually having to make them from scratch. And I'm going to show you how to find keyword ideas so you can actually build out a large campaign. All right, and our second ad group is in place. I would rename this. You just got to click on the little pencil icon here. Let's do fiberglass. Actually, let's just do pool installation. This is just a generic pool installation account. And then, or ad group, I should say. And then we're going to click on this, and what's going to pop up is all the keywords. In order to find new keywords, say this was just something we didn't really know and in-ground pools wasn't really related to this, what I would do is come back here to the Google Ad Keyword Planner and scroll through this. And this is a very good indication of what people are searching for. Now, I have an entirely separate video when it comes to the actual keyword planner. I would highly recommend going and checking that out if you're unfamiliar with the keyword planner and how to find good keywords. This keyword planner is much more professional. It shows you how to build out ad groups in an actual Excel spreadsheet and really walks you through theming all of your keywords properly. This video just kind of doesn't do that justice, and I thought, if you're new to this, I really think you should go and watch that video just so you can actually see how keywords are actually properly built out, ad groups are properly built out, and it will give you a better idea of the actual theory and practice of implementing high buying intent keywords into your campaign. So check that video out if you are new to the actual Google Ads system or call only ads or just trying to find keywords. It will save you a whole bunch of time and make your life a whole bunch easier than in this video where I really don't explain it that well. I normally like having at least 1,000 to 10,000 searches a month and at least 3 keywords. This is really good for campaigns anywhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 to $10,000 a month in ad spend. It should allow you to bring in sustainable leads month after month with that amount of average monthly searches. Again, there's always exceptions to this rule depending on how high your cost per click is. There's a lot of stuff that actually goes with this. But for this one, we're just going to look through here. Pool installations, great keyword we can add in here. And what I like doing is just going in here and actually switching these around. So for this one, let's just get rid of the actual in-ground here. We'll just put pool installation because that's a keyword we already want. If we just want to add this in bulk and just copy and paste a whole bunch over here and use the Google Ads keyword wrapper, we absolutely can. Instant in-ground pool installation near me. But because this is so similar, I feel like we should just change a few things around. This will just make life a little bit easier. Pool installation near me, good. What else is in here? Swimming pool installation. That's cool. We could use that. And again, that's very, very similar. So we're going to leave in-ground pool companies near me. You know what? Let's get rid of pool prices here. We'll just put swimming pool installation. We can also get rid of, we'll just put pool installation cost. That's fine. Cost, sometimes I like adding, sometimes I don't. Cost is really associated with, get a quote, price, cost. Sometimes these are good keywords, sometimes they're not. It really depends. You got to follow the data on this. But normally I like to go after keywords that it's like pool installation and there's just nothing after that. It shows really high buying intent. We'll change this around. We'll do pool installation companies and we'll just put companies. That's fine. And then we will get rid of, let's put pool installation services. That's good. And if we want to find out more keywords, again, just scroll through here. What I would really recommend doing is building out separate keywords. So pool builders could be its own separate keyword, as builder is a really unique word. Same with pool contractors, pool installers. I think that was around here. Yep, pool installers. I would make that into its own ad group just because it's a little different than installation, and you could really have a very good quality score if you change your landing page, your ad copy to installers instead of just installation. What I would recommend doing though is going through here, and if there's products and services you don't want to offer and you see they are getting search volume, is taking these. So we'll take a semi in-ground pool cost because that maybe we don't offer semi in-ground. And this is just for sake of example. What we're going to do is actually add this to our negative keyword list so we don't pop up for it. So we're just going to paste that in there. And it's a nice little head start so you don't have to add these keywords later on. And again, that's just nice to look through all here and add anything we're not going to be actually using. One important thing to note is to make sure when you're adding a negative keyword, it's to the actual campaign level. So please make sure campaign is selected. It will save you a whole bunch of time. Sometimes you can add it to the ad group if it's very specific and you only want this particular keyword to not show up for a particular ad group. Most of the time, it's just better to add it to a campaign level so this keyword doesn't show up for any one of your ads at all. It just makes your life a lot easier. So we just hit save and we're good to go. We can come back here to search keywords and we have all our swimming pool installation. But this is a very good overview of how to find keywords and really what to do inside of a call only campaign when finding new keywords. I would then go over here to the actual ads and assets, and we don't have to change any of the extensions. That's completely fine because we set it at the actual campaign level, but we do have to change these ads. What I'm going to be showing you here in a second is actually me going through and changing all of the main keywords. That's what we have to do for every single ad group because every ad group has different keywords inside of it. So some will have in-ground pool installation, some will just have pool installation. We want to make the ads reflect exactly what the keywords inside of the ad groups are. So when our ads pop up for, let's say, pool installation, the keyword associated with it is pool installation. It's not in-ground pool installation, it's pool installation. So if our ad says pool installation, the keywords inside of it have to be pool installation. We want it as relevant as possible because we want a high click-through rate and we really want to speak to the customer's problem and make it as unique to them as possible. So please make sure to actually go in here and change these little things. Like I'll show you how to actually change the in-ground part. We'll remove that and just put pool installation. I know it looks stupid. I know it looks like a waste of time. This will really help with increasing your click-through rate and your quality score so you can get a lower cost per click and better results for your account. So please go in and do this. I'm going to come in here. We'll get rid of in-ground. We'll just put pool installers. That's fine. Get a free quote now. We'll get rid of in-ground. We'll get rid of in-ground. And as you can see, this is actually a very quick process, and that's why I like copying these ads. It just makes things a lot easier and a lot quicker. In-ground pool installation, local pool installer. So we'll go to here. We will get rid of in-ground pool installation. We'll just leave it as pool installation. Looking for pool installation, that's fine. In-ground pool installation, we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of in-ground. Perfect, good. Hit save. And then again, one more ad. And also I forgot to change this. We'll put this to just pool installation. Make sure to change that. I forgot. We'll put local pool installation. That's good. Trusted and certified. We'll get rid of in-ground. And again, we really want to target our keyword here, which is pool installation for this ad group. We'll hit save now. I'm going to come back into each one of these ad groups. I'm going to change the actual final display path here. So we'll just put pool. We'll put, you know what, I'll just put pool installation. Move to the other one. Installation, that's fine. I'm just going to copy installation for the second one. We'll hit save. And then where's the other one? We're right here. We'll put it there. And perfect. Our display paths have been changed. So now they all say pool installation. And now we have successfully changed all our ads and created a new ad group. I would go in here and add anywhere from 3 to 5 ad groups. We currently have 2 when we actually hit the actual ad group button up here. Make sure to come in here, turn this back on so your actual ad group can run, and then we are good to go. Again, build this out, 3 to 5 ad groups. If you want more, you absolutely can. Every situation is unique. All right, now I'm going to show you actually how to set your locations in the easier mode. I like this method a lot better. If you already set your locations, you're comfortable with that, you can skip this part. However, I really like setting locations like this and then also setting exclusions like this. I just find it a lot easier. All right, right at the beginning when I was saying that the location settings were a little different than they used to be, we can still adjust them as how the previous settings were. All we have to do is come down here to settings and then come over here to locations and we can add more locations. I find this much easier to do. What we have to do is hit search and then we can either hit location or radius. Radius will allow you to set this at an actual radius instead of just a certain location. So if we wanted to do a 20-mile radius, all we have to do is type in the actual radius we want, hit pin mode, and then we can just click on the map and hit target. This will actually set a radius. So some businesses just prefer having a radius of like 20 miles instead of actual locations. They really don't actually care about locations. It's just a radius. So if you want to do that, you absolutely can. I also find this a lot easier for adding exclusions as well. So if we want to just type in, let's do Brantford. If we don't want to target that, we can just type that in, hit exclude, and you are good to go. You could also type in let's do Oakville, and then you can hit nearby as well. And then you can just target all of the cities nearby if you like, and then just hit target or exclude. It's really up to you. I find this a lot easier to do than way back in the original campaign settings. I just like it. And all you have to do now is just hit save. And then all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom here, hit save, and your locations will be saved for your campaign. One thing I would recommend doing in your account is coming up here to all campaigns. We're going to come over here to settings, hit account settings. And what this will allow us to do is actually record calls and get more data from them. You don't have to do this, but in call reporting, you can come down and then hit turn on. Yeah, we accept that. So please don't give away any of this information. We don't need to send this to an analytics thing right now. So this isn't relevant. If you're using CallRail, you would need to turn this on. All we're going to have to do is hit save. Once we ensure that the recording is operating, all we have to do to turn our campaign on is come back over here to the pause button, hit enabled, and our campaign is good to go. Now I'm going to pause this because I don't actually want to run this campaign. However, you should leave this on green and it will take 24 to 48 hours for your actual ads to approve. Once they're approved, Google will start showing your ads. Sometimes it might take a little bit more even, depending on how brand new the campaign is, but normally your ads should be running within 24 to 48 hours and you should be good to go. One thing I would recommend is optimizing this account so you can get better results. You can get double, triple, quadruple results easily if you actually optimize this campaign on a regular basis. And I recommend optimizing it at least once a week, especially if your account is brand new. What I would recommend getting is our Google Ads optimization checklist. It's completely free. The link is down below. It goes over what you should do on a weekly, monthly, every 3 months basis, and you can also list the results as well. But it's just a great tool to have in your arsenal so you know what to actually go over. I'll link the video to how to actually use the Google optimization checklist up in the corner. This should bring you even better results. Please optimize campaigns. Even if you're not going to get the checklist, you should be optimizing, because if you don't, your campaign is going to get significantly less results than if you actually did optimize. So please, optimization is a huge factor in determining success for Google Ads. You have to do this in order for your campaign to be successful. Now, I do have a massive favor to ask from you. If you got any value out of this entire tutorial, it took us a lot of time to put this together. Please leave a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave a comment down below. Check out that Google Ads optimization checklist. It will help your campaign substantially. You can actually double, triple, quadruple results rather easily if you just follow the optimization process that we show you. Please do that. It will save you a lot of money and make you a lot of money. So that is something to check into. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day and take care. I wish you well.